Hello, welcome again to Jackrabbit Journal. And this football game on Saturday was way too close for SDSU fans, but the Jackrabbits do pull out a win at the University of South Dakota. Jack's not great for really 3 quarters, and then they come on in the fourth, regain the lead, get the victory. Your thoughts on what happened Saturday?
Well, first and foremost, it's a big win by the guys, and you got to hats off to them for getting it done in the end. But once again, Tom, we saw this team come out for the most part not ready to play emotionally in what I feel was one of the biggest games of this season from a conference standpoint, playoff standpoint, but also, this is a new rivalry, and we've seen them at home come out flat early on in games, but on the road they've been pretty consistent and ready to go week in and week out. So a bit of an about face for the team, but like I said, come fourth quarter they figured some stuff out and got back on the right track.
And the Coyotes came to play. This is not the Coyotes of a couple of years ago. USD, they were ready to go in this one, and the Jackrabbits get down 7-0 early in the game, but then they come back, and SDSU takes a 10-7 lead at the half on a 10-yard touchdown run by Taryn Christian. And then the third quarter was really all University of South Dakota. The Yotes get a touchdown. They get 2 field goals to take a 10-point lead. Hank, what happened in that third quarter?
Well, the big thing for me anyway, I think what we're seeing now is what has been the maturation of the USD program. And you're seeing the types of players that, they've been out there trying to get for a number of years. Well, they have them now. And now they deserve the respect that I think that they earned this past Saturday as a legitimate Missouri Valley Football Conference football team. And so going into that game as anything else would be a mistake for any opponent.
All right, Coyotes take a 10-point lead. Going into the fourth quarter, Zach Lujan comes in right at the end of the third, comes off the bench. The Jackrabbits go on back-to-back touchdown drives behind Lujan. SDSU scores 20 straight points in the fourth quarter. Nick Farina with a pick 6, and the Jackrabbits come back and hang on to win it 30-23. And this is probably where Jack's fans wanted a bigger win than this, but this is kind of maybe the final score you expected in this game. And as you said, the Jacks get the W, which was the big thing.
It was, and you looked at the game. The Jacks really weren't able to run the football all that well, and the defense really didn't play that well for the first 3 quarters of this game. So there's going to be plenty for them to see on film this coming week as they work to get ready for Western Illinois, because that is the focus from here on out. Big win, guys. Good job getting it done. Now on to the next week.
All right, Coach Stig will talk a little bit about being ready to play for this game, and another huge game for Jake Winicky. When we come back, we'll get to the big plays of the first half.
Jackrabbit Journal on Midco Sports Network is presented by Dakota Land Honda.
Welcome back. Let's get to the first half against USD. And to your point about getting ready to play this game, Stig says that he and his coaches tried all week really not to make this into a bigger game than any other game, although maybe they should have.
It's not that it isn't a rivalry, and it's not that it isn't important, but we try to be consistent, and we try to not go up and down with emotions, but we maybe should have.
All right, let's get into the first half here. Taryn Christian gets the start at quarterback in this one, but the Coyotes get out first here, Coach, and what happens on a big play here in the first half?
Well, we just kind of slack off is what I think. We run a blitz. We don't get close enough to the line of scrimmage to even come in there and affect the play, and then our corner just is kind of daydreaming, and our safety bites on the eyes, and consequently it's an easy touchdown.
All right, 7-0 Coyotes early on, and then you put a drive together here. Taryn Christian over the middle to Jake Winicky for 23 yards.
The story there on that play in the game was our protection of our quarterback. I thought our fat guys did a really nice job of protecting our quarterbacks.
Kyle Paris for 9 yards here. Would you like the running numbers to be better than they are, or are you running it enough?
No, without a doubt. I mean, I think we might be last in rushing in the Missouri Valley. That is not a a place we'd ever want to be. But again, we need to do what it takes to win the football game. Here we're running Taryn, quarterback power type play. He makes a nice read because the DN jumps outside. He threatened. He's a threat for other defenses.
All right, go to Winicky here on a third down.
Good play by their corner. I mean, Jake has caught that ball so many times. Maybe put a little higher because Jake is so much taller than a lot of guys. But again, we're playing a good football team. Give him some credit. Really happy about this. Jay had good days, bad days, and we wanted him to start off strong. His kickoffs were perfect. and he was perfect on his field goal.
Carlson from 29 yards there makes it 7-3, and they threw it 50 times on you. This is a hard defense for your defense, wasn't
well, and this play is simply they've got a run called. If we're not wide enough, they're going to throw the bubble screen, and we didn't adjust early enough on that. Good coverage here. They went empty. We're in man-to-man. Jesse Baba does a nice job on that, but again, give them credit. They're stressing us. They do a lot of things on offense.
All right, stick them in a long field goal situation here and just miss from 48 yards, so it stays 7-3. Coyotes in the lead here in the second quarter. But again, Christian here will hook up with Jake Winicky doing what he does after the catch.
Yeah, just a run-pass option. Literally could have handed that ball off and just read the edge and threw it to Jake, and then Jake does his thing. Again, I wish he wouldn't look around so much. He's done some amazing things while he's done that, but just run full speed, you know.
He lopes, it's full speed, and then Christian scores here from 10 yards
Read
out.
option, you know, again, does a great job, gets some good blocking downfield there, and he gets in the end zone. Big play, and that's his forte. That's the real gift is to be able to run the football right now.
All right, Jacks take the lead 10-7, and then USD on a drive here to end the first half. Sager over the middle here, and he just had too much time and slips away.
Yeah, now I thought our pressure was good on him. We just couldn't get him down. He's a big, strong guy. We did get a couple sacks in the game, but give him some credit. He's a winner in every way, shape, and form. Now, this is unacceptable. This should be a 5-yard gain. Next time they run it, it should be a 2-yard gain because we should see it. And literally, they ran that play back-to-back for 11 and 10 yards. Embarrassing, I think.
All right, they ran this. Have you seen this play before this?
They do a trick play or 2 or 3 every game. And so we had practiced a lot of them. We had not seen something like that. But again, Nick Farina had a phenomenal game. Jordan Brown's over there also. Huge play in the football game. Those trick plays need to be stopped. And what's the result here? Jimmy Forsythe, great play in the end zone with the interception.
All right, 10-7 Jacks in the lead at halftime. And again, they ran 91 plays. They ran more plays than anybody's run all year on you. And your defense was under fire for this entire game, weren't they?
Our defense had to work hard, all right? And part of it was our own fault. Part of it was our coach's fault. You know, we didn't get out of fitting plays a certain way, and so they're able to throw the bubble screen. And then when we didn't make tackles. But bottom line is we didn't come to play, didn't start out the game as well as we should have, and that puts pressure on yourself.
All right, the second half turns into a tale of 2 quarters. The Coyotes take command in the third, and then the Jacks take it back in the fourth as Zach Lujan comes off the bench to lead a late rally.
Jackrabbit Journal on Midco Sports Network is presented by Dakota Land Honda.
Welcome back. We'll get to the second half in a moment, but if you look at the total yards and the time of possession in this game, Hank, you would think that maybe USD would have rolled them. Just looking at those 2 numbers, and from Clint Brown to TJ Lally to Stig, everybody on that defense, they know they could play better. They said it after the game, but USD put up some pretty big numbers.
They did, and it's indicative of how the game went up until early on in the fourth quarter. 75 to 80% of this ball game, USD was in control. And SDSU's offense really struggled to get things going early on, specifically in the run game. And SDSU's defense struggled to just tackle guys. So, no, the numbers speak true. But in the end, who made the most plays?
But do they? That's the question. The Yotes had 11 third down conversions in this game. They kept a lot of drives going. USD ran 91 plays. The Jackrabbits ran 57. But as Stig says and points out here, you can't always get caught up in the numbers.
The most important stat, which my assistant coaches remind me of, is the points on the board. But there's a huge discrepancy. They had over 30 more plays than we had in the game. That's twofold, though. You got to stop them on defense, but then you also have to maintain a drive on offense. Sometimes that's because of big plays. Sometimes it's because of 3 and outs, and there were some of both in this game.
All right, let's get into the second half here in the third quarter. What happened here in the third as USD gets some things going early?
Well, that was that's to me a trick play. We're man-to-man defense. Just stay in your guys, smell his breath, and we didn't do that, and consequently they kind of ran a fake quarterback draw, throw the ball, and it caught us off guard.
All right. And you guys did miss some tackles, as you said, in the game on Mike Frederick here, but this is a pretty good little running back, and a young running back.
Yeah, he's a good football player, but that's the third time I think they've run that play. Should be dead. And they blocked 2 guys with 1 guy, and then we miss the tackle for a 4-yard gain, it should be a dead football play. And part of that is playing a little insecure because it isn't going as well. You have to be mentally tough in this football game. This is a good scheme. Tight end delay, they kind of flood the area. They ran that a couple times, hit it from one time. Good. Now for man-to-man, it's not as good because we got everybody covered, but that's the chess game of football.
All right, this is one of those long drives that they do end up sneaking it in on. Sager goes in from 1 yard, and Coyotes up 14-10 early in the third quarter here. And then we go back a couple of possessions after this, and they're going to start to run the football a little bit more with Frederick. Yeah,
this is just a cutback play. Jordan Brown's on the corner there, and Jordan played a great game. He's just got to grab cloth, all right? When you tackle a guy, if you grab cloth, if you think you're going to get some flesh when you grab them, they don't get away like that. Here's a good example, get some penetration. He can't make that cutback that he did so much in the game and lose some yards.
Kellen Solik has had a really good last 3 weeks for the Jacks. Ends up in a field goal there for the Coyotes. It's 17-10, and then what happens on the interception?
Well, just, again, that happens so often. I used to coach linebackers. I'd say, read the quarterback's eyes. He will not see you sometimes, and he didn't see. He saw the tight end coming across. Wessel was right there, threw it right to him. In fact, I love John Wessel, a great man, one of their linebackers. Here we play great defense. There's no cutback there. That's just a sweep, and I call it fifth grade football. Go tackle the guy at the ball.
So Coyotes get another field goal there, up 20-10 going into the fourth quarter. Zach Lujan comes on in the ball game here, hits Jake Winicky for 34 yards, and then a really nice setup here for Trevor Wesley on a screen.
Yeah, the effort here by Trevor is phenomenal. I mean, he weighs 162 pounds. And they're pulling on the ball, and he's driving his legs. That is phenomenal. He's a senior. He wants to win this football game. He wants to set some things up in this season that we've never had before. And you see his energy there, a big play. And in fact, we should have done that more often. Here we're just in our heavy set, our line set. I think Kyle's got to get his pads down a little bit more there, but we do get in the end zone for a touchdown. It gives us some energy as a football program.
All right, Lujan leads the drive there, 20-17. USD still in the lead here in the fourth quarter. But do you blitz here to get through these guys?
Well, no. We slanted our line a little bit. In fact, one guy that was supposed to slant didn't. And just, we're so consistent on defense. When we move, it surprises people quite often. Great job of staying in the pocket here, hitting Dallas on kind of a fake bubble screen, throw it to the corner. Good design by our offense. Dallas Goedert had some big catches in this game, too.
All right, again, Zach Lujan back in at quarterback, and he hooks up with Jake Winicky here for a big play for 38 yards.
Yeah, Jake is, again, he's so long. He really doesn't have that kid beat by much, but you can put it out in front of him. He catches it, gets us into scoring range. Again, we've got some energy now. I don't know if they're nervous, but I know we're energized. And here he walks into the end zone. A good job by Cole and Kane. And I wish we could do that when we need to kill the clock at the end of the game. We tried it and we gained 2 yards. So we got to perfect that.
All right, 2 big drives, 2 Paris touchdowns. Jacks go up 24-20, and then here's the play by Nick Farina.
Play of the game. Their quarterback is a winner. He's a confident guy. He throws that one up, and Nick makes a great read. We turn into offense. That's so important in this situation, and we get a big score for energy. Now, we missed the extra point, which is uncalled for, which puts some added pressure on us. It gives them a 10-point game, but still big play in the football game.
20 straight points for the Jacks to take a 30-20 lead. It's a 7-point game here. And Jordan Brown, I think, comes up and knocks this away on the Hail Mary.
Yeah, Jordan Brown, Jake Winicky are in there, and we talk about spiking the ball, and he spiked it. That was great. Great job.
Another play you practice.
Practice every
week in and week out.
Practice every week. Yep.
All right, go back to Zach Lujan first, who's just a very good combination of maturity and ability, and being able to come in and do what he did.
Well, his mindset, his winner mentality, his positive attitude. Going through it last year, being called up when Austin goes down, going in and then losing the job, and him staying the course, and this year up and down, and he doesn't waver. I'm so proud of that young man.
All right. Now, the goal of the first round bye, very much in play here. You guys get the win here to get to 8-2, and that goal of a first round bye is very much realistic, isn't it?
It's really interesting to me and cool. For us to have talked about being a top 8 seed last spring. Every text I sent out and we sent out as a program through the summer put top 8 seed. Sometimes that was the only thing. And we lose that when we lose it when we lose the UNI game, and then we play ourselves back into it. I'm really proud of our football team. Really proud of our football team.
All right. Dallas Brown with 12 tackles for the Jackrabbits. Nick Farina had 10 tackles plus that interception. Cole Langer with a sack and a forced fumble. And for all the whining we've been doing about how the defense played in this game, Hank, they get the job done and get out of there with a win.
They do, and that's what matters at the end of the day, because the goal is much bigger than just beating USD every single year. That's for sure. These guys have their eyes on the prize.
All right, Taryn Christian, he played pretty well, just had the one interception thrown in there, but Lujan comes in as the hero in this one, and it seems that over the last 4 games, one way or another, this 2-quarterback system, it's not always the same, but it keeps working somehow.
It does, and what I think I've seen most is that they always have an option to provide a spark of some sort. This past week it was Zach. The week before it was Taryn. So you know it's been interesting to see how it's played out. Myself, as a bit of a skeptic, have been pleasantly surprised.
No idea who's going to start against Western Illinois this coming Saturday, but we'll get to that. And up next, maybe it's just me, but there seems to be a special connection between Zach Lujan and Jake Winicki. We will see what the numbers say about that next.
Jackrabbit Journal on Midco Sports Network is presented by Dakota Land Honda.
Welcome back. South Dakota State quarterback Zach Lujan came off the bench at the end of the 3rd quarter on Saturday, led the Jacks to back-to-back touchdown drives, and he finished 6 of 8 passing, no touchdowns, but he hit Jake Winicki on 2 long passes to set up those 2 short touchdown runs. And this might be just media guys trying to make more of something than it really is, but there seems to be a cosmic connection between Lujan and Winicki, and we asked Coach Stig about it.
You want that, and I think there is that. You know, when you have a really good receiver like Jake, a big target like Jake, and then a quarterback that trusts him, you want that feeling. Now, these plays we're going to look at, we didn't call Jake's number. All right? Zach comes out, Lujan comes out, and he says, what is the coverage and what's my best shot? And he makes perfect throws in both these passes. This is a fade route, and the thing here you're going to see in the slow motion that is really important as a quarterback is you have to get some loft under the ball. And Zach does a good job of that. You got to get some air under it so he can run underneath it. If you throw this thing straight, it's a lot tougher to catch and a lot easier to defend. But again, perfect pass by Lujan. And again, give the fat guys some credit. They're protected. And this is a post. He gets him twisted a little bit there on the edge. And again, throws it. That corner's got pretty good coverage, all right? But he throws it out in front of Jake and he makes the play. And Jake is, and he's deceptively fast, and he's very, very strong for his size. Again, no pressure on Lujan. Perfect pass. And in fact, I think he could have thrown another yard in front of him. It would have been a touchdown because of Jake's arm length, and he'd have had the momentum to go in the end zone.
Well, they obviously truly work well together. We went back and looked at the numbers this season, thinking that there might be some huge spike in the stats when Lujan and Winicki are on the field together. And we found out that not really. Lujan is completing 59% of his passes overall this year. He completes 58% when he targets Jake Winicki. In the 8 games Lujan has played this year, he's thrown it Winicki's way 65 times, completed 38 of those. That's that 58%. Lujan's thrown it 177 times total this year, 65 of those to Winicki. That's 37% of the time. So he's thrown it more toward Winicki this year than he did last year. But the numbers are not that glaring as compared to the passing game as a whole, as you might think. It's more of a perception, but there is something there in this connection between these two guys.
Well, there is, and I think it's obvious when you see it on the field. These two guys, Zach in particular, just has the utmost faith in number 19 and understands better than what really anybody could as far as where number 19 is going to be at any given situation, just because of the number of reps they've had together over the last 2 years. You forget how many games that Zach played in last year with Jake, but it's not just games, guys. We're talking day in, day out. Practice, repetitions, where they've been able to develop this relationship, and what it results in, sure, not a ton of additional completions, but it results in a whole lot of big plays that the Jacks desperately need.
Winicki's having a spectacular season, second in the country right now in receiving yards per game. The only guy in the Missouri Valley right now with more catches than Winicki is Lance Lenore at Western Illinois, and that's who the Jacks play this Saturday. We'll talk about that next.
Jackrabbit Journal on Midco Sports Network is presented by Dakota Land Honda.
Welcome back. The last time the Jackrabbits won 9 games in a regular season in football was 1979. They went 9-2 that year. They can do it again this year with a win on Saturday against Western Illinois. The Leathernecks are 5-5, Hank. They have another really good running back for the Jacks to deal with. Nico Watson is second in the Missouri Valley in rushing, but this is not going to be a gimme by any means. Jacks, of all the games this year, they got to be ready to play for this one.
Absolutely. Huge game against a good football team. Jackrabbits, I think anyway, they need to look at last week as a bit of a wake-up call because they did not play very good football for the majority of that game. Take a look at that film, find ways to improve and get better, get back to playing the kind of football that they did the week prior, and find a way to put a complete game together.
Jacks have been very good against good running backs in the Valley this year, but if the Jacks win, they should get a top 8 seed in the FCS playoffs. That would be a first for this SDSU program.
You have to take visible steps as a program, and you recruit great players and you look at stats and you do that, but bottom line, it's your win-loss record. Your best business card when you go out recruiting is your win-loss record. And so yes, we're 8-2. We have never been in this situation at the end of the season. We're normally battling to be in the playoffs. Now we're battling for a top 8 seed, and so we've taken that step as a program. We need to finish it now.
All right, the FCS playoff field will be announced on Sunday. Any games hosted by SDSU would be at Howard Wood Field in Sioux Falls. That would be pretty cool. And while the Jacks are at Western Illinois on Saturday, we've got women's basketball. The Jackrabbit women taking on Notre Dame at 2 o'clock. We'll see you there.